I'm Rachel, and today I'm going to be covering the final section of part 1, section 12. Now this week, instead of taking 1 week, I took about 3 weeks because I had 2 trips in it, but by the time you're watching this, it will just seem like it's just 1 week apart. But I was so excited to reach this final section because the final project in it, we got to select whatever we wanted to do, the subject matter. But let's first begin with abstracts. Growing up, I don't think I really made many abstracts. I did maybe as a toddler when I was scribbling, but abstracts is something that I haven't really played with, and in fact this looks more like an actual landscape, but that was the project, to do an abstract landscape. So for this one, we got to pull out all of our graphite and all of our drawing utensils and just kind of free flow, don't really think about it, but draw something that's a little bit abstracted like a landscape. So it would hint at a landscape, and I think adding this rock shape, I ended up pointing it so it looks like a castle, and it's a little bit probably too, it's not realistic, but it has a little bit more hint at actual imagery than a pure abstract would be, but it was, like I said, one of my first attempts at doing abstracts, so I guess that's okay. It was suggested that we use water to add some drips and some wet media. And I noticed that when I was using my graphite sticks that they weren't dripping very well. So I ended up really soaking the area that had a lot of charcoal on it and a lot of graphite in order to get a few drips. And they didn't drip well. The graphite seemed very heavy. And when I looked closely at the graphite stick, it did not say water soluble. So I went back and looked at my order form and found that sure enough, I had not ordered the water soluble graphite sticks. I ordered one, and this came in. This is water-soluble graphite. It's by the same company, Lyra, and I really like Lyra's colored pencils. They have some really fat jumbo colored pencils for kids that work really well. They have soft leads, but this is my new graphite stick, which I find works fantastic with wet media, with adding water to it, basically. So if you are new to the program and you're ordering your sticks, make sure you order one that says water-soluble graphite. The next project that we did was to pull an object or to make something that you could actually identify out of an abstract. So I began by putting on some music and then just sketching free form. I tend to do a lot of large swooping shapes whenever I'm doing abstracts. Can I say that? I mean, this is literally like my second or third abstract in years. Also use a subtraction tool like erasers to erase, so I erased marks, added a lot of dashes going along with the music that I was listening to. So if there was any drums, drum beat, or rhythm, then you can see where I would add marks for that. So I made these 2 birds out of some charcoal blobs that I had there, and this is what came. I can't say that I really like either of these abstracts. I tend to be a lot more focused on detail work. I think that exploring abstracts can really help us to get what's in the subconscious out, and I'm really looking forward to exploring abstracts a little bit more to see if I can be a little bit more free. And then the third project that we did was John's creative tree. Now John, Milan's husband, he does a lot of doodle work, and his work is very expressive from the subconscious mind. His work contains a lot of details. He encouraged us to draw a tree and then to just let our subconscious flow and draw a bunch of doodles in the tree. It happens to be that we have 2 cherry blossom trees that are in bloom, and a storm had come and was blowing them off the tree. And even though the window was kind of shut and it was pouring down rain, that's what came to mind when I was doing this. So of course you can see here sakura blossoms ended up on this tree. Now I did not sit there and do them detailed. I was really just drawing them like without any thought of making them perfect. And so this was a very relaxing, peaceful drawing to make. Is it a finished drawing? No, not at all. I wouldn't hang this on my wall, but the very practice of just sitting down to sketch and draw without having to try to make it a finished artwork was really, I find it beneficial. And then moving on, the final project that we got to do was to paint an oil painting completely with oils, and to pick any subject matter that we wanted to, and to use the techniques that we have learned during the past 11 weeks. I was so excited, but my problem was that I had so many different ideas, I wasn't sure which one I was going to do. Like, I keep a journal of ideas, and whenever ideas come in my head, I just jot them down for future projects. And so I finally narrowed down to an idea of something that I've been wanting to do for a while. my original idea was to draw a single shield, a medieval shield, with just one symbol. For example, maybe just this square to be on the shield with an ornate gold gilded frame. But I decided to do this instead as a shield that is full of a bunch of different elements from medieval time period, of heraldry elements. And I wanted to evoke the idea of a community. A community is, to me, is a group of people united under a single purpose. I chose the words grace, truth, and love as my uniting purpose for the community that I'm depicting here with the heraldic elements. And to me, grace is important because grace means extending that olive branch of peace and forgiveness to those who have hurt you, and realizing that other people extend it to us as well, because I, as a human, do make mistakes and I do hurt and cause pain to other people. Truth is here because truth is necessary. We need to look in the mirror and realize where we need to change, because we have a lot of character issues that need to be, we need to grow in, as well as we need to be not afraid to speak the truth to our friends at particular times and seasons. And then love. We need to do all things with love and care, because we genuinely care for people, because love makes the world go round. And without love, I mean, this world would be a crazy place. So those are the uniting elements of my community. So in here I have these heraldic elements of all different kinds of professions or careers that a person, or trades that a person can have. And I really enjoyed putting all these on here. I've got the unicorns up here and the lion, and I've got some faith symbols, as well as a bit of sunshine, because I love having a bit of optimism in life. I believe in looking at the glass half full instead of half empty, which is something that I don't think I naturally began as a young person, and it's something I've been growing into, is realizing that there is beauty all around us to be had, to be seen, and it's up to us to change our perspective. To explain a little bit about how I did this piece, I first killed the white by adding this wash of color on the background, and then I painted in the background. And this background actually had put 3 layers of glazes on it because the colors that I was using were transparent. The final glaze on this was a mixture of 3 cool colors, alizarin crimson and transparent yellow earth, as well as a raw sienna. And I really like the warmth that it provided here, because I actually prefer to work in warm colors, but you need the cool to make the background recede. And I worked on the gold frame by first adding my cool tones, and then I layered over warm tones to help it pop out a little bit. So before doing this, I first sketched it out in Photoshop, and I created a completed picture and line of what I wanted this image to look like. I did a little bit of block coloring, throwing some color to decide whether I wanted these squares to be red or blue. And then I drew all the elements inside, added the frame, and then mirrored the image over there, and I added the elements at top. I had to work on this painting over multiple days because I had to wait for each layer to dry. If you went ahead and tried to work on another background layer while the yellow was still wet, then it would bleed into each other. And there's a couple little areas where there's some bleeding, like for example right here. And right here is where I made a mistake, and some red got on there, and I tried to erase it using some solvent. I could have erased this entire square by using some more solvent and then beginning again to add that kill the background wash. But I decided to leave it there because, so I hope you like this. I enjoyed it, and it took way longer than the 9 hours that they said to spend on this project. But I had so much fun doing it, and I'm super excited about the way it turned out. And I cannot wait to move on to part 2. Part 2 is going to be all about mixed media, and we're going to be working with acrylics, inks, liquid acrylics, flow acrylics, high flow acrylics, as well as collage work, gold leaf, spray paint, markers, oil pastels, crayon dash, needle colors, all kinds of materials. I already own a lot of art supply materials, and so but I've never really thrown them onto a painting, so this is going to be completely new to me, and I literally cannot wait to get started with that. I probably won't be doing videos to upload to YouTube for the next 3 sections of the Milan Art Mastery Program, because I think just doing these first 12 sections gives you an idea of what Milan art is all about. The first section is the most difficult. It's the one where you're really upping your skills and learning things that you've never put yourself through, probably doing some of the tough work, learning how to draw better, basically. And the next ones are more about finding your voice. So I think part 2 is about finding your voice and mixed media. Part 3 is building your portfolio. And part 4 is about the marketing and reaching out to galleries and getting your work out there and getting your work sold. So If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below, or go over to the Milan Art YouTube channel and just drop them a question. I'm sure they'll answer it right away. And I hope you've enjoyed my series of videos about Milan art. It's forever changed my perspective on art because I have always been very tight and very small and very detailed, and really I've been working in digital for so long, and I feel like just stepping into the painting world again. I say again, I've really never done the oil paintings and acrylics, but just the acrylic very, very little. This is expanding my horizons in the art world, and I'm so excited to be working with actual traditional materials and using the old techniques as well as the new modern techniques when we add in all these new mixed media art supplies in the next section. So I am forever going to be a different artist because of this program. I highly recommend it. The coaches have been phenomenal. They have been through the program themselves. They are all practicing professional artists, and they have a lot of good comments to say, as well as I've gained a lot from the Zoom calls, being able to hear what other questions people are asking. And so I can wholeheartedly recommend this. In case you're wondering, the program is set up that whenever you join, you get all of the 4 sections, the 4 parts available to you at one time, so that if you go faster or slower, it's up to you. It's like go at your own pace, which I really, really like. I know some other courses are set up kind of in a drip method that you get 1 per week, but I really like this method because I have spots of time that I can work, and then there'll be some weeks that are very busy and I can't get to my art. And so I really like this approach. Another thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that the Milan Art Mastery Program comes with a huge library of extra videos per section, per part. And I've only watched maybe 5 or 6 of them, but there are so many other ones. Singular videos like how to paint lips, or how to paint lighting, or how to set up your composition. I mean, there are so many, many, many different videos that I cannot wait to dive into. So it's really worth your money, and no, I am not getting paid anything to make these videos, but I really love the idea of just sharing that this is a good program because I've benefited from them, and I hope that other people can benefit as well. I'm not really sure what videos I'll be making after this because I'm going to be busy working on the next sections, but I'd love you to hit subscribe and come along on the journey. Thanks for watching, and go make some art today.